If an HVAC company has ever recommended a maintenance agreement, you may have wondered, is this actually necessary or is this just another way for an HVAC company to make money? A lot of homeowners ask this question, and honestly, before I entered the industry, I didn't know much about them. My husband usually handled all that stuff. So in this video, I'm going to explain what HVAC preventative maintenance actually is, why some homeowners think maintenance plans are a scam, and how to decide whether one actually makes sense for your home. Hi, my name is Toya Sampson, but most people call me Dr. Toya. I spent my career practicing obstetrics and gynecology, and now my husband and I own an HVAC company here in Cypress and Katy called the General Heating and Air. My husband is a licensed HVAC contractor and a 10-year Air Force veteran. And the one thing that is really important to both of us is education. Because when homeowners understand how their systems work, they feel more confident making decisions about their homes. One thing we've noticed is that HVAC maintenance agreements sometimes have a bit of a bad reputation. Some homeowners think they are unnecessary. Some people feel like they're just a sales tool. And sometimes people have had experiences where a technician came out for a maintenance visit and the entire appointment lasted about 10 minutes. So it's completely understandable that homeowners would question whether these agreements are actually worth it. But when I started learning about HVAC systems, something struck me right away. The concept of preventative maintenance in HVAC is actually very similar to preventative care in medicine. In medicine, we encourage routine checkups and screenings so we can identify potential issues early instead of waiting until someone has a major health problem, because small problems are much easier to manage before they become much more serious ones. HVAC systems work in a very similar way. And my husband brings another interesting perspective to this because of his time in the Air Force. In the military, maintenance isn't something you do after equipment breaks. It is scheduled. Systems are inspected regularly, parts are checked for wear, and anything that looks like it could become a problem gets addressed early. The goal is simple. You want to prevent failures instead of reacting to them. The same philosophy applies very well to HVAC systems in your home. So what exactly is HVAC preventative maintenance? In simple terms, it is a scheduled inspection and servicing of your heating and cooling system. Most systems benefit from 2 maintenance visits per year, one before cooling season and one before heating season. During those visits, technicians inspect and test the many different parts of the system, including the airflow, all the electrical parts, the refrigerant levels, the evaporator and condenser coils. Those are the main parts of the system, and the drainage systems. The goal is to make sure everything is operating safely and efficiently. So here in Cypress and in the Houston area, HVAC systems work extremely hard. Air conditioners often run 8 to 10 months out of the year. We also deal with high humidity, heavy pollen, and in many neighborhoods, ongoing construction that introduces dust into the air. That dust eventually ends up in air filters, coils, and ductwork. All of these factors put additional stress on HVAC systems, which is why routine inspections can be especially helpful in this region. Many of the service calls technicians respond to actually start with something small. One example is something as simple as a clogged air filter. When airflow becomes restricted because of the dirt on the filter, the evaporator coil, which is the thing that conditions the air, can get too cold and ice can begin to form on it. Eventually, the system stops cooling properly, and suddenly you have a much bigger problem than you started with. Other common issues we see include clogged drain lines, dirty condenser coils, electrical parts that are wearing down over time. Many of these problems can be identified early during routine maintenance. Another question we hear often is, do brand new HVAC systems in brand new houses need routine maintenance? The short answer is yes. Even new systems can accumulate dust and debris over time. And in areas like Cypress, where there's a lot of new construction, that buildup can happen fairly quickly. Just imagine what's going to happen with that Toya district. Routine inspections can also help identify installation issues early such as airflow restrictions or loose electrical connections. Let's talk about home warranties. You may assume that if you have a home warranty, you don't need HVAC maintenance, but these two things are very different. A home warranty helps cover repairs after something breaks. Preventative maintenance is designed to reduce the chances of that breakdown happening in the first place. In fact, some home warranty providers may even require proof of regular maintenance for certain claims. So the maintenance is important so you don't get denied. Are maintenance plans really a scam? I do want to acknowledge something very honestly. Sometimes maintenance agreements get a bad reputation because the service provided isn't very thorough. If a technician spends only a few minutes looking at the system, doesn't explain what they're doing, you may understandably feel like the visit didn't provide much value. And that's why transparency and education is so important. You should feel comfortable asking what is actually included in the maintenance visit. Here's what you should look for in a thorough maintenance visit. It should include a detailed inspection of the system. Things like airflow measurements, electrical inspections, refrigerant testing, drain line checks, cleaning of important components. And of course, we don't expect you to be able to back check the technician, but you can have an idea of what they should be doing and how long it should take. Just as importantly, the technician should be willing to explain what they're seeing so you understand the condition of your system. So, what does a good non-scammy maintenance plan look like? At our company, for example, they include two detailed preventative maintenance visits, one before cooling season and one before heating season. And it involves evaluation of the indoor unit, outdoor unit, the thermostat, comprehensive evaluation of your system, and of course, cleaning of the important components. Your plan may also include things like discounts, priority scheduling, and even some credits towards new systems. But whether you work with us or another HVAC company, the most important thing is to understand what a maintenance visit actually includes so you can make an informed decision. As a physician, preventative care has always been something I strongly believe in. And while an HVAC system is obviously very different than the human body, the principle is surprisingly similar. Small problems are much easier to address before they turn into larger ones. So whether you choose a maintenance agreement or simply schedule routine inspections, the important thing is to make sure your system is checked regularly so it can keep your home comfortable and your air clean. So if you found this helpful and you want to learn more about how HVAC systems work, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Our goal here is simple: to help you, the homeowner, understand your home better so you can make confident decisions about your comfort, air quality, and the health of your home.